Hey everybody, John Granato, Lance Zierlein from the bench. Mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. If you have not clicked subscribe, please do it now. You got to do this, Lance, when you say that. Click subscribe now. Do it so you can get all of our content here at SportsMap HOU. Let's talk a little Texas football. Nick Caserio was on Albert Breer's podcast. For the first time, Lance, he said he didn't say we're not interested in trading the player. He said we're going to do what's best for the Houston Texans. With everything that's piling up now, have we seen Deshaun on the field for the Texans for the last time?
Yeah, I think so. I think the Texans believe that they have to be going through best case and worst case scenarios, and I don't think worst case scenario has fully played itself out yet. I don't think we fully know that until all the information finishes leaking in. I think the best case scenario is Deshaun is a tarnished face of the franchise. And with that said, knowing the background of Jack Easterby, knowing the background of the McNairs before Jack was even here, that's not something they really vibe with. And I could see them saying, look, as long as we can get proper value for Deshaun Watson now, that may be a relative term now compared to what it would have been, but they may look at that as let's just move in a different direction, get a different face of the franchise, build this team up, because it's not like they're right around the corner from winning a championship, so they don't have the same rush to find a quarterback as maybe some other teams do. And I think you could see the Texans just say, let's get what we can while we can. They're not going to just give them away, but I think we've seen the last of Deshaun Watson. Hard to believe, but true.
I don't believe that they can do it. They can trade him now, because if he's going to be on the exempt list and a team's going to have to pay him $10 million salary, you're going to get pennies on the dollar. He will be more valuable, like when Mike Vick got out of prison. There are obviously other instances. You are more valuable when it's all behind you,
right? And
then teams don't have to worry about all of that stuff. It's behind, and he can play football. And now they're going to have to, fade the fan base and everything else. But as soon as he starts playing good football, I honestly think he has played his last downs for the Texans, but I don't think you can do anything with him until you find out whether or not he's going to be playing.
Well, no. I answered your question. Has he played the last game for the Texans? I think he has. I don't think you trade him now until I'm with you on that one. Everything has to play itself out. Nobody's going to want to trade for him, and if they do, they're going to want to screw you. So, yeah, but to your question, has he played his last snap as a Texan? I think the answer is yes. I think he has, and I think the McNairs and Nick Caserio are going to be much more willing to move on from Deshaun Watson now. Even if it was just posturing before, I don't think there's going to be as much posturing now, or I think they will have changed their mind and said, yeah, it may be time to move him. So I don't think he's going to play for the Texans anymore.
And now we got to, man, this is so complicated, and so I don't know that any criminal charges are coming by the time the season starts. Yet the NFL is going to have to suspend him. I don't think that there's any way around it. So it's just going to be for inappropriate behavior. And then on top of it, if there are criminal charges afterwards, he may be facing even more. I really do believe that there is no way that at the very least, he's facing 8 games and quite possibly the entire season, even without criminal charges.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think, part of it may be he just needs to go away for a year and quote unquote do the work, try to show that he's being a better person. I mean, I don't know his guilt or innocence in this whole process. I know what it looks like, and I know how badly things are stacking up against him. And I feel fairly confident saying that he has definitely misstepped in terms of how he should have maybe handled certain things, whether it's criminal or not, whether it's going to result in, I don't know all that. I just know that it's hard to have a player who has that much stacked against him come back after 8 games. So I think the full year may end up happening. I didn't think that before, but I'm not sure how Rusty Harden can really maneuver out of this one. It's going to be difficult. And then if you settle, whether people can say whatever they want, but if you settle, it is going to look like some admission of guilt for Deshaun Watson.
Well, and it's so funny, talking about the Texans not. Yeah, listen. he was in, I don't want to say he was in a position of power, but he had cards in his hand in which he could have said, I'm not playing for you guys anymore. When this first started, I don't want to play for you guys anymore. You got to trade me, or I'll sit, or I will hamstring, or whatever was going to happen. Now it's, we don't want you. There's a big difference between when somebody really, really wants you and, they'll do anything to keep you, and now where it's like, we don't. You know what? We got to discard you.
You want me to make it really complicated? What if the Texans say he violated a morals clause and they come after his money before trying to trade him? I mean, it could really get complicated here if the Texans really start to fight him in any way, shape, or form about this situation. I don't know all the details about how it would work from a collective bargaining agreement situation, but I just know that once you've caught 20 lawsuits and counting, I don't think it's crazy to think that a team could try to invoke a morals clause rather than have you sit out and get paid the whole time.
But if you void his contract, then he's no longer your property, which would be tradable, and he's no longer an asset that you could get something for. Right. And secondly, going after the money that you've already given him may pose a problem as well. It can't get worse. It just can't. I can't imagine a worse situation than this.